Well, good afternoon, SLAE family. Happy Tuesday to you. Thrilled to be back with a guest that is going to really make a difference for all of us. As you know, if you have been with SLAE for quite a while, we do tend to feature a nonprofit each month. And also, as we're about to head into the holiday season, we find that more and more people are just a little bit more on alert for charities and how they can make a difference for other people. And sometimes in the great sea of information that is out there, we want to help and we don't know which charities and organizations are great with the funds that you donate. And so today we have an amazing guest with a tool that will revolutionize your desire to give in a big way, and that is Charity Navigator. So I'm going to introduce you today to our very special guest, Ophira Bondarowski, and she is the Vice President of Programs and Strategic Partnerships at Charity Navigator. So Ophira, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it. And for all of you watching, she is tuning in from Florida, so we're very happy she's safe. And so is her family. She's a mom of three, proud mom of three, right?
Proud mom of three, that's right.
Absolutely. So Ophira, can we start off and can you explain to people exactly what Charity Navigator is, just so people who've never heard of it before will understand a little more?
Yeah, Charity Navigator is a nonprofit. We provide a free web service that helps philanthropists and donors better determine which nonprofits to give to. Precisely as you'd said, there are so many causes and so many nonprofits out there to support, and sometimes it's hard to make sense of it all. And so what we do is issue data, information, and ratings on our site that potential donors can utilize to make better giving decisions.
Yes. So there's two pieces to it. There are the charities that you're working with, and then there are the people who wish to donate that are going to come on board. So let's talk about how you rank those charities, or you give stars to them and what that all means, the ratings for them.
Yeah, so we're in the process of implementing a more unified rating system. In the past, we had two systems going: the star rating system that most people are familiar with. We also had a numerical rating system we called Encompass, which looked at a variety of performance metrics beyond finance to help donors better understand the nonprofit more holistically that they may be looking to support, right? Understand their leadership and adaptability programs and procedures, understand their culture and community commitments. Are they listening to constituents? Do they care about DEI? To what extent are they implementing DEI practices? And then also measure impact and results for the organization. And over time, what we realized is that there was more and more support for a more comprehensive nonprofit evaluation system. And so we are now expanding that to the formerly star-rated organizations as well. So they're also going to be evaluated in the coming weeks on those metrics. So it'll help donors across the board better understand, is this a well-performing nonprofit? Is this a nonprofit that's likely to be delivering on its mission? Is it a nonprofit that's sustainable? They'll be there tomorrow, they'll be there the next day, they'll be there next year. Can they weather the ups and downs in the economy? Oftentimes you can't predict, right? We can't predict those major pitfalls, but in the short term, the little blips that occur, we want to know that they'll still be there doing the good work that they're doing. And most importantly, can they demonstrate that their programs are achieving success?
Outstanding. So when somebody has a nonprofit, for example, if they're not rated in here and they'd like to, is there a process that they can come? We have a lot of people who run nonprofits that watch this too. So how would they become part of the Charity Navigator ranking?
Yeah, so that's a great question, actually. We're impartial. We don't charge donors, we don't charge nonprofits.
That's
so
amazing.
We just literally automatically evaluate nonprofits once we have at least 3 years of electronically filed full Form 990s tax returns. So we don't look at EZs, we don't look at PFs. It's got to be that full Form 990, and they have to be a 501c3. So if you're a foundation, if you're a C4, we're not evaluating C4s. You're not going to be eligible for a rating. And so you don't have to do anything to become eligible for an evaluation or a rating. It happens automatically. We receive our finance data from the IRS. And we also collect that data now directly from nonprofits. They can set up a portal account through the website. If they go to their profile page on Charity Navigator's website, they can click on to set up a portal account, and they can provide us with data directly as well and earn ratings for some of those other components besides finance, right? Like that leadership, the culture and community,
Sure.
the impact and results.
And then the other part is I've noticed when I've been on there, because I really like Charity Navigator, that's why I'm so excited you're here, that you can distinguish chapters. So there may be a large organization that has chapters around the country, and it's possible for them to have separate rankings and separate ratings, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Affiliates are oftentimes rated separately. So you might see the national chapter have one score and one rating, and then you'll see affiliates or chapters, local chapters being rated separately. Sometimes they're separate, sometimes they're together. But yes, again, the idea is to be as thorough in our ability to inform donors who are looking to support local organizations and local chapters.
So that way, if there was a charity someone really loved and maybe their chapter was, they could find another one. They could still support the cause that they like.
Yeah, and that is really I'm going to stop you on that one.
That's a technical term I just came up with. I'm just letting you know.
I love it because that's scientific, but that gets us all the time. I'd say don't stop when you see on our site, investigate further. Sometimes organizations go through transitional periods. They might, it might not be present in their scores. They might be in a growth stage. They might be investing a lot to expand capacity. And so that might impact their finance rating, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if you understand the context that they're, that they're investing. So maybe their working capital is greatly reduced. And so that's going to show differently. I think it's that EE part that gets us all the time, where we want to make sure that people are paying attention and not just looking at the score and leaving the site. Yes. Read the information that's there, understand what the score means, understand what the rating means. And in the several months ahead, we're going to be working harder to expand the amount of information, the type of information that we publish, to make it more user-friendly and helpful to donors. But I think on the bigger picture, and I think what we're trying to do ultimately is focus more on helping the better performing organizations rise up, right? Helping donors more easily find those better performing organizations. The nonprofits that are struggling, we hope they're paying attention and figuring out, based on the way we're rating and metrics that we're looking at that are indicative of long-term success, that they're paying attention to those metrics and doing something about it, so it's right. And so we do offer some support and resource and guidance in the way that in the way that we rate, that we do notice that nonprofits attend to the ratings, they're attending to the metrics, and we are slowly but surely driving improvements in certain areas. I'll give you a quick example. Up in, several years ago, we did not evaluate accountability and transparency practices. And when we started evaluating accountability and transparency practices, there were many, many nonprofits that didn't score well. They didn't fare well on some of those practices, right? Having a donor privacy policy in place, having a whistleblower policy in place, having a conflict, right? So all of these policies that are important, that we know are important to ensuring the nonprofit's integrity and that they're operating in good faith, weren't necessarily required. Nobody was paying attention to them. Once the IRS started collecting that data on the tax returns, we started incorporating it into our ratings. We saw nonprofits over the years improve in their policies and practice and start implementing some of those really important policies. So we do see a change in reaction to what we're rating, and we hope that it generally improves the sector as a whole.
And then the rating can shift, correct? As they make changes, et cetera. It's not stuck once they get a rating.
That's right. So if their performance improves in certain areas, they'll see their rating improve as well. And in addition, we are constantly learning, right? We're constantly doing research, constantly analyzing the data as it comes in. making adjustments as necessary. We know COVID impacted many nonprofits negatively and some nonprofits very positively, right? There was a lot of extra grant funding for some causes, and then there were other causes that were really struggling during the COVID era. And so we've made adjustments to accommodate for that so that we're being as fair as can be in evaluating nonprofit performance.
So let's switch from the nonprofit over to the person who wants to donate.
Yeah.
There's also the ability for someone not just to look up an organization, but they can look up a cause with you, correct? They can go seeking who supports certain causes if they don't know a nonprofit off the top of their head.
Right. So we have some of those tools. That's right. You can search by cause. You can search by nonprofit. It could be more regional, right? In terms of what you're looking to support. We also have curated lists. We have what we call a hot topic list. So after a disaster, whether it's a civil justice crisis, whether it's a health crisis, whether it's an environmental crisis like a hurricane or an earthquake, we immediately rally, do the research, bring together a list of 10 nonprofits that are doing the work, that are providing relief and recovery efforts, or are supporting needs as they arise to address crisis and disaster quickly. And we put that list together and make it easy for donors who don't have time or the wherewithal. They want to help, they want to support, they don't even know where to begin the research. We've got the list. You can see the list of organizations to choose from and feel confident that you're giving to a nonprofit that's going to use your money to do good things wisely.
So if, for example, with what just happened in Florida, and again, we're so grateful that you're okay, but a lot of people are not down there. If somebody was feeling on their heart that they wanted to, they could go to your site and figure out, okay, this is a great place where if I donate, that money's really going to make a difference to help people in Florida right now. Yes,
there's a hot topic list for Hurricane Ian. And that hit our site almost in real time. Our response is phenomenal. We have a great team internally that pulls these nonprofits together, that addresses the needs quickly when we notice or make note of crisis or disaster anywhere in the country. And so yes, you can go to Charity Navigator. You can also give to organizations through Charity Navigator. We have what we call a giving basket. It's our giving platform. You can donate through Charity Navigator. Every penny goes directly to the nonprofit. We don't benefit from it in any way, but we're also a nonprofit. So if you wanted to, you could tip us in that giving basket, or you could donate to us directly. But if you chose not to, that's okay. Just wanted folks to know that it's a safe and easy way to donate to your favorite nonprofits, and it keeps track. Your account will keep track of the nonprofits you've donated to, which makes it a lot easier when tax season comes around and you've got to go look up, who did I give to and how many organizations did I fund last year?
Oh, that's great. So for example, if somebody said they wanted to give $100, it would go absolutely $100 to the cause. 100%. If they want to support Charity Navigator, they could add on what they wanted to add on. And that would be tax deductible as well, correct?
Correct. We're also a 501c3.
It's astonishing that you do all of this for free so that people don't have to pay to access the information, and these nonprofits don't have to pay to be ranked. So it's a great thing to support you because you're making it clear and easy for everybody out there.
Yeah, we try. And we're constantly, like I said, we're evolving, we're expanding, we're making, with every new release cycle, when we issue new ratings, release new metrics, we're trying to improve the system to make it better, stronger, more robust, and informative. And we are now up to nearly 200,000 ratings on our site.
That's
so we're getting
That's a lot. How many people use the site right now, roughly?
We have roughly 10 million users a year. And growing. And again, anytime there's a crisis or a disaster, we see a remarkable spike in web traffic to Charity Navigator because people want to help, they want to support, make a difference, they don't know where to go. And so they'll end up at Charity Navigator on our hot topics list. But we definitely, I think I would say, I speak on behalf of my peers and my colleagues that we certainly feel that sense of responsibility to the sector and to donors, and feel a real sense of pride in what we do. It's not a perfect system. We keep working at it, improving it, but we know that we're offering the best help we can offer to guide better giving.
It is really great. There was a charity I wanted to give to a couple of years ago before I learned about you. And then when I did a little homework, I was like, oh, it didn't look like much of the money I was going to donate was going to go to what I thought it was going to go to. And, we all want to make a difference, but it's great to have confidence in your gift. And the fact that you set all this up and it's a one-stop shop that'll track your tax deductions as we're winding into the end of the year, because that means that people will donate more and people will be tracking their deductions and need all that for their returns next year.
That's right. That's right.
We can't forget the obvious. Obviously, people can Google it, but would you please give the website out?
charitynavigator.org. www.charitynavigator.org. And this is another kind of exciting time, an exciting announcement that, Charity Navigator is in the coming weeks going to be unveiling a brand new website, web design, web look, going to be much more user-friendly, and I think a lot easier for donors to navigate and access the information that's most meaningful to them. We know that folks come to our site for a variety of reasons. And so we're working on improving that as well. So check back if you haven't visited Charity Navigator yet. I encourage you to visit it now, and I encourage you to check back again in November when we launch our new website and see this kind of fresh new look that we're after.
Well, I'm looking forward to that because I think the website's great now. So if you're going to do all that, that's wonderful. And especially if it's going to hit sometime before, Thanksgiving and Christmas, when we see, I'm sure, don't you see an increase in giving during that season?
Yes, we do. We absolutely do. And we do our best at that point as well to send out a lot of communications to educate donors, to really encourage folks to give, but give carefully and wisely, and to check out the profile pages of the nonprofits. Check out our site before you give to determine if it's really the organization you want to support. There may be better organizations out there doing similar work.
And if we could support Charity Navigator to help us do the right thing, that's not a bad idea too. I got to give you a little free plug there. That's important to do that. Well, thank you, Ophira, for being here. And for all of you who are watching it, if you are not familiar with this website, I would really encourage you to go check it out and share it with other people, especially as we, start moving into the holiday season. It's just such an incredibly helpful tool to have. So thank you again so very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And we will post the website. Also, if you have questions or comments, or you just want to tell Ophira how awesome she is, you can do that too. Please feel free, if you're in the Facebook group, to leave some comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a comment. And it does really help spread the word. If you can give it that little thumbs up and write a comment and like it, that helps get the video more exposure. And the more people learn about Charity Navigator, the better, for sure.
Agreed.
And then very last but not least, just to let you know, we will not be here next Tuesday, which is a rare thing, but some of you who've been around for a while remember an organization we had as a guest in SLAE called Executive Alliance. It's an incredibly powerful group of professional women in the Maryland, DC area, and they are having a huge event next Tuesday at the exact same time as SLAE, and I would like to go there to support them. So there are still tickets available. We'll post that if you want to come out. I'd love to meet you, but it's a great thing. And the whole point of SLAE is to empower other women. So when you have that many women banding together, hundreds of people, why not jump in, network, and help an organization that is up to good things. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Ophira, thank you again for being here and your $1 million smile. If her incredible career ever takes a sidetrack, she could always go to a toothpaste commercial, because that woman has the most gorgeous smile I have ever seen. That's for sure. But if you
give me an idea for a retirement plan.
That's exactly. If you have any questions or comments, though, and you leave them, just give us a little patience, because she will be observing Yom Kippur tomorrow. So she may not get back to you until Thursday or so, but she will get back to you for sure. So thanks, everyone. We'll be back here live in 2 weeks. Take care. For those of you observing Yom Kippur, happy holidays. And we look forward to seeing you. And please stay safe down there in Florida, Ophira. Thank you.
Thank you.